late and you're in my kitchen and I'm a night owl. If you didn't know that before, you know now. So I'm going to make a real quick chocolate cake. I still have to do that for our lunch, our Sunday lunch tomorrow. And I'm just making one layer or half a cake, so it's not going to take long. It's really, really fast. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I figured I'd do it on live, so I have somebody to talk to. So I'm going to make this one that I made the last time I made chocolate cake. It's the same one. It's called the best chocolate cake. It really is. So far, it's the best that I've found. I am going to, I'm trying to figure out what I need to put in here. I'm going to put, this is the order it tells you to put it in. Okay, you're going to put in the sugar, flour, cocos, baking soda, baking salt. You're putting in the dry ingredients. Yeah, this is how this one goes. So I'm cutting it all in half. So we're going to put, so if you want a 2-layer cake, a full-size cake, just double all of this. But I'm making just 1-layer cake. It's for me, Mom, and Dad. So we're going to put in a cup of sugar. Let me get a cup of sugar here. Let me get my knife so I can level it off. All right, here, let me put this so you can see what we do. You can see what we do. Okay, here's my cup of sugar into our bowl. So this cake has you mix all the dry ingredients first. So there, that's what we're doing. So then we're going to do, all right, so to get half of this, it's going to be a half a cup plus 3/8 of a cup. Okay, so half a cup of flour. Is that what I'm at? Yeah, flour. Half a cup of flour. Well, that's 2 of these. And I just dumped a new thing of flour in here, so it's not packed. So that's a 1/4 cup. So it's 2 of those. It's actually, so that's half a cup. Then we want 3/8. This is 2/8. So it's actually 3/4 of a cup. Oh, Lord, I can't talk. 3/4 of a cup plus, I'm slurring my words together, 2 tablespoons. 3/4 of a cup. So the full recipe is 1 1/3 cups. So that's 3/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons, which is your 1/8 of a cup of flour. I just put it back up over here too. Like, wait, I'm not done. Putting it away, not done. There we go. Okay, so then we're going to add 3/8 of a cup of unsweetened cocoa. That's regular cocoa. So that's 6 tablespoons. So here we go. Oh, Lord. 2. I am so clumsy right now. 4. I just made a mess with cocoa. Oh, I hate making a mess with cocoa. 6 tablespoons. Look at that. Good grief. Let me fix that up. So tomorrow, I'm going to make the icing for this tomorrow. That's why I'm making this tonight. And not too late for me because I'm not going to ice it till tomorrow. So the icing, I'm going to make a new icing for this that I've never made before. So Mom's trying to cut down on sugar a little bit, and I'm trying to cut down on calories a little bit because I'm trying to lose a little bit more of the weight I've gained back. I've lost 4 pounds, so woohoo, yay for me. But I still have a little more to go, but I don't want to cut all this out. I just want to cut it down, and Mom wants to cut the sugar down. So we're just making a little bit less. So I'm going to make a whipped cream, chocolate whipped cream icing tomorrow. I've never made it before, but I think it's going to be good. But it'll have less sugar than like regular icing. So let's do 1 tablespoon of Dutch processed cocoa. Now, if you don't have Dutch process, just put in another tablespoon of a regular. But this just gives it another chocolate dimension, I guess. It says what the recipe calls for. Dutch process. You probably have to go to a specialty store to find that. I don't know if they have it in the regular grocery store. This is from the Fresh Market, which is here. You can probably get it from Whole Foods, and you can definitely order it online. Just look for Dutch process. It'll work. Okay. Or use all regular. So then we're going to have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. 1 teaspoon baking soda. Then we're going to have 1 teaspoon. Nope. Half a teaspoon. I'm sorry. Half a teaspoon. Let me get that. Of baking powder. half a teaspoon of salt. Figure out where I put that. Here it is. Get all my little grains of rice out of there. Okay, so that's all the dry ingredients. Then we're going to actually mix that together. Let's see how we're doing here. Not bad. Okay, so that's all combined. So now we are going to mix into here an egg. I'll get one egg here. Get my little bowl to crack the egg in. And drop the shell. Oh, she can pick it back up, it's fine. So we got an egg ready. Then we're going to add a half a cup of buttermilk and a half a cup of black coffee. Even though I don't like coffee, I have learned you add this to chocolate cake, it tastes chocolatier and does not taste like coffee, believe it or not. And then we're going to do a quarter cup of oil, but I'm going to go ahead and do half a cup of coffee, half a cup of buttermilk. I'm just going to mix them here together so I can just measure them. Oh, looks like coffee with cream. I don't like coffee. That's why I said you can't taste the coffee, because I don't want to. Maybe you would want to taste the coffee. Well, you can do that, but no for me. No coffee for me. Okay, so there's that. We're going to put in the egg. Then we're going to add a quarter cup of oil. Now, I have coconut oil just because that's what I have. It says vegetable oil, but you can really add whatever oil you want at a quarter cup. Sometimes I add canola oil. I don't know if I've ever added the coconut oil. Well, that's what we're doing. What are we doing today? Okay, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Let me put this measure cup out of the way, and that's it. Teaspoon of vanilla. And then what we are going to do, we're going to beat on medium speed, and it will be a thin batter, and we pour it in the pan and bake it. Teaspoon of vanilla. All right, so let's mix that. Start slow. Here we go. All right, turn it up a little bit. It says you beat it for 2 minutes. A marinated cucumber salad. I'm going to cut up this cucumber. This is an English cucumber. Actually, soft on the end. Let me go wash it real fast. Slice these cucumbers. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. And slice the cucumbers. All right. timer go off. I'm going to finish slicing these cucumbers real fast. Still stuck together. There we go. Whoops, that one's too thick, I think. Yep. A little crooked. There we go. Then we're going to pour that in to the pan. Now it says to grease a 9-inch pan. So this is the 9-inch pan for the cake. If you're making, you know, the big full amount, of course you do 2. I'm going to pour it in that pan. And we are going to bake that cake for 350 degrees. It is going to be 30 to 35 minutes. Okay. All right. Let's take that out of there. Ooh, look at that. That is yummy. Real chocolatey. No artificial flavor. Okay, so let's put this in here. It's real runny. Pour it in. Put all of it in there. And I'm just going to leave it in the pan since I have to take it to Mom's. It's easier to travel with, and put the icing on it in the pan tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do icing. Okay. That's good batter. Remember being a kid, we always licked the beaters. I'm going to snap it to get the air out of it. Put it in here and set it for 30 minutes. Now, let's finish making stuff. Let me move this out of the way. Stuff for our cucumber marinade. So I have 2 cucumber marinades, and this was the one. I have one with mayonnaise and one without. So this is the one without mayonnaise. So it's 1 cucumber. It also takes some onions. You don't have to put the onions in it if you don't like onion. Mom likes onion though. She likes raw onion, so I put the onion in there for her too. And you can just put big enough chunks if you don't like the onion. You don't have to eat it. You can eat around it. Hi, how are you doing? Good. I guess I should say morning. It's in the middle of the night. Okay, so now we are going to do, so I'm going to cut this way down. Oh, I've got it already marked here though. Okay, so I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of vinegar. Fine. Where did I put my measuring spoons? Oh, I put them over here on the sink. Okay, here we go. So 1/4 cup of white vinegar. So this makes like a dressing for these cucumbers. It's really good. Actually, you know what it tells you to do? It tells you to put it in a jar. Let's put it in a jar. Okay, we're going to put the cucumbers in here. Well, I have a huge jar. I don't know where my smaller jars are. All right, we'll use the huge jar. Okay, here's our jar. I'm going to put in a 1/4. Okay, let's go ahead and put that in there. 1/4 cup of vinegar. Oh, let go. These are all tangled. There we go. 1/4 cup. That's 2 tablespoons. Plus 2 more tablespoons is a 1/4 cup. To get some more vinegar. Look there. It's like all the vinegar. I have more in there though. Okay, there's that. Then we're going to add, we are going to have like 4 teaspoons of sugar. Okay. Get the sugar. So it's 3 to 4 teaspoons. Depending on how sweet you want it. There's the sugar. And then we're going to add in a tablespoon of olive oil. Then we're going to have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Yep, that's a 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, it's the salt. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano. Then we're going to have 1/8 of a teaspoon. Actually, I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon. Instead of, so it says to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of garlic powder and then 1/8 of a teaspoon of lemon pepper. And I don't have lemon pepper, so I'm actually going to use garlic pepper. So I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic pepper. So I have everything except the actual lemon part. So if you want the lemon part, you can get that. But that's what this is right here, garlic pepper. It's really good, actually. Then I'm going to do 1/8 of a teaspoon of marjoram. Ooh, if I can open it, there we go. Teaspoon. This is just a little amount for one. And then we're going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of mustard powder, ground mustard. 1/8 of a teaspoon of that. There. Then you're going to shake all of that together, pour it over your cucumbers and onions if you have onions in it. And that's it. And you've got to let it soak overnight. So you just put it in your jar, tight fitting lid, shake it up. You have your marinade. Look at that. Yeah. Way too big a jar, but that's why it shakes really well this way. All right, so let me put a little onion in here. Dad doesn't like onion, but Mom does, so, you know, we can just leave it out for him, and she can pick out the onions that she likes. So this would be, for this amount, you want to put like 1/4 of an onion in here, or something from that vicinity. So I'm just going to do like one big chunk slice here. And put that in pieces. That away. There we go. See, just like, you know, chunks like that. Some onion chunks in here. This may be actually too many. I don't know. Let's see. And this really, if you don't like your raw onion to be real strong, since this sits and absorbs the stuff overnight, see, it's not that bad. It's not that strong because it sits and absorbs. Probably just going to do a little bit more. I don't want too much onion. This cucumber isn't that big. Okay, so there we go. That I'm just going to put back up. Put it back in the bag with the other. Then we are going to pour on, actually I think I'm going to put this in a container. Put it in a container with a lid. Now I used one of these containers last week. I put something liquid in it and it had a hole I didn't know it had. It leaked. I don't think this one's going to leak. It's okay because that was not good. So let's go ahead and put those in there. Oh, look at there, fitting there perfectly. Shake it up a little bit more again. I don't think that sugar got dissolved completely. Okay, here we go. Pour it on. And those will be so good by tomorrow. They aren't all that great when you first make it. Like if I eat it right now, it's okay. But tomorrow is when it's good. Because it's sat there and soaked it all up all night. So you really do want to let these soak overnight. You could put them in the jar if you'd rather put it in a jar. Fit in the jar. Okay, there we go. that is my marinated cucumbers and my chocolate cake. So till tomorrow morning, may you have a very blessed night, and may you have some nice sleep and rest. Good night.